Welcome to the Broke But Not Broken BBNB podcast. I am your host, Desticott, or Des. Regardless of that, that's just a screen name, and I'll go into more on the reasons for that later. So, what is the purpose of this podcast? Mainly, it's just for myself. It's just so I can... Two main reasons, primarily. One is just to have a creative outlet, just to talk, vent. Sometimes I just don't want to write things out. Sometimes podcasts and just talking, even if it's just to the void, can be somewhat therapeutic. And maybe even fun, right? I can maybe get something out of this. Secondly, I really want to work on my voice. And what I mean by that is I feel like factoring off of my social skills, which are not that strong, my voice and my way of speaking is not that great. I sometimes will mumble, I will talk too fast, my enunciation isn't good, my clarity and my volume just isn't there. And that's really important, especially when you're meeting new people, making first impressions, and in the professional life interviews, right? So interviews in my recently history of failing them has really enraged me, for lack of a better word, to make these podcasts to work on my voice. Just to keep talking, because I don't talk enough. Maybe just getting used to talking for long periods of time will just help me naturally, right? And also, I guess the main point of this podcast is that if part of it is me working on my voice, that means I'm gonna have to listen to this back, right? So these podcasts, which I'm not even sure if I can call it that, but let's call it that in the meantime, we're probably like 10, 20 minutes. Let's see if I can even talk that long. Right now I'm only at about 2.5 minutes, and I feel like I'm already running out of things to say. But again, it's probably just the initial starting thoughts that are making me think this way. Let's talk about setting. Right now I am at the beach. So the reason for that is because I don't really have any personal private space at my home, and talking is hard for me, and I don't really like doing it, especially something like this that's new and kind of like an expression of myself. I don't want to do this in front of other people, at least in the beginning. Maybe as I get more used to it, I'll care less. So I tried to find a nice quiet area on the beach, but it is windy and I'm near the water, and this podcast is supposed to help me talk, but these factors are probably gonna make this podcast even sound shittier. I've been thinking about doing these podcasts for a long time. I think I enunciated a little too long there, but maybe like for a year or two. I just thought it'd be fun. I don't know if it'll ever take off. That'll be a nice consequence of it. But regardless, I think I might get something out of it. Like I just said, I've been thinking about this for a year or two, and what took me so long is I just couldn't start. It was so hard for me to start, and because as humans we want things to be perfect. So I think that me knowing that I don't know how to make my first podcast perfect makes me not want to do my first podcast. But that's just silly. That's just terrible mindset, in my opinion. So as long as I get something out there, I feel like it can only go up, right? Or at least stay the same or go up. And at least it's something, right? If I get this out there, then okay, I did one, I can do another one. It's like roller coasters. They just kind of scare the shit out of me. But I feel like any roller coaster that I've ridden in the past, I can ride it again because I know I survived it. So I feel like the fear has declined by half. and roller coasters I still have never ridden, I'm probably still a little scared of them and hesitant to go on them. You do it once, you can tell yourself, then you have that personal experience that, I did it once, I can do it again. So I don't know if I said this, but I don't know if I called this in the beginning episode 1 or episode A or if I even mentioned an episode notation, but I'm calling this episode A and not episode 1 because episode A allows me to have a goal, and that goal is, going through the alphabet from A to Z. That's what, 26 letters? I hope that's not wrong because I'm going to look really silly. Anyways, if I can get to Z, 26 letters, it's kind of like I can close like a season. I can close it off, right? Kind of like these are all like these are all pilot episodes, more or less. And sorry, my phone turned off. It's kind of hard to see in the sun. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. So I'm calling it episode. This is gonna be episode A. BBNB, which stands for Broke But Not Broken Podcast Episode A. So broke but not broken. Where did I get that from? I feel like I heard it in a song once. I'm gonna see if I can look into it. Let me jot that down. Song from. So I can talk about it the next time. I feel like I got that line, something like, I'm broke but I'm not broken. I feel like that was in a song lyric, and I think I know for sure that the song I heard it from was like some pop punk song, because that's usually the genre I listen to the most. And I know it was in a deep meaning when I heard that line, but I like that expression, broke but not broken, like if it's broke, you can fix it, but if it's broken, it's kind of like the idea is like it can't be fixed, right? So it's like, I really like that concept, broke but not broken, right? Because we should always think that no matter all our faults and our mistakes and gaps, we can like fix them, right? I mean, that's like, even like taking literally like modern medicine, if our arm breaks, we can fix it, or if our arm falls off, we can replace it with like even like 3D printed parts or even mechanical parts. And that's kind of amazing in a way. I feel like I can't relate because I haven't lived through that experience, but as a tech savvy person and someone who just loves tech and like technology, I feel like it's pretty cool like that we have stuff like that. I mean, I can't, like I just said, I can't really relate to someone who has a replacement arm, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to for obvious reasons. Screen name. So I'm going not by my real name, maybe not yet, maybe after I work into it, just to keep things broad for now. I'm going by Desticott or Des, right? DES. Yeah, like I just said, for broad reasons. Maybe I say something stupid and I don't, like, really inappropriately stupid, and I don't catch it, so maybe that's going to, be a bad image for me, and so I want to be more comfortable just doing these, so I know how I'm reacting when I'm doing these by myself. So right now I feel like I sped up my talking from the beginning of this, so I'm just going to slow down a little bit mentally, and right now I feel like not too bad. I'm at 8.5 minutes. My somewhat goal is 20. I'm not sure if I can reach it. Let's aim for 15 at least, right? But I think looking at the clock also is going to slow me down, right? When you stare at the clock, things slow down. I don't know why that is. Well, okay, I know why it is, because you're not doing anything. When you're doing things, your time moves faster, so to speak, right? When you're playing video games all day, it's like night when you just started playing in the morning, when you play like 5 games in a row. Yeah, I hope the waves and the wind don't mess this up too much. I expected a little to mess up. And plus I'm using my phone, and I bought a little external microphone. So, first time trying this out too. I didn't even do really a proper test run. But again, I just need to get something out there. If I get something out there, I can make more, and then I can look at this and fix the little mistakes one at a time. I'm gonna try to have this podcast up on YouTube and Spotify, and maybe the other platforms if it's simple enough to do it with low effort. But I only care about Spotify and YouTube because those are the things I use. I'm not sure how to get my podcast up on Spotify. I'll probably figure it out today when I upload this. I hope it's free. Honestly, if it costs a little bit money, like I don't know, $5 or something, I'll pay it. Again, like that gives me more accountability when you pay for something, right? When you pay for a course, you want to. It's easier. It's more annoying when you're not doing well versus like when you have a free course. Like at least it was free and you're doing bad. You don't really care as much. Let's see. What else can I talk about? So what have I been doing? I have recently paid for a JavaScript, which is a programming language course. This is like maybe the third time I've tried learning programming. Now, to be fair, it's always been a side thing. Like, I always had a main thing in programming I tried learning on the side, and at one point, that side gig always just ended up being stopped. So, I don't feel too bad, because it was never my main focus, right? But it is annoying to think, like, how many times I started a programming course, and then I just gave it up, when maybe if I just finished it, it could lead to a decent amount of new doors, rather than starting over again and again and again, learning the same basics, right? But I have this mindset where I have to go through these basics again. So this time, I just started this course. I'm learning the basics again. Hopefully I can really stick with it. At least, it doesn't matter if I do it every day, as long as I keep doing it rather than giving up. And finish the course, you know? Because right now, my current career path is becoming a math teacher, a publicly certified math teacher, high school math teacher. And I'm in graduate school for that, working on my master's. But in the far future, if for some reason that doesn't pan out as I hoped, or just maybe I have a change of heart, programming is something that I feel like I could be good at. And it's also a very lucrative, I don't know if I'm using that word right, lucrative career, as in it's ever growing. Even now, like, jobs in computer science exist in almost every company. So I feel like the opportunity is there for me if I ever wanted to seek it. What else? So I've been getting rid of a lot of my clothes. Because I was just sitting down one day and I was looking at how much clothes I have, and I was thinking about like this idea of minimalism. I'm a big fan of minimalistic things. If you see my computer, it's like the desktop is empty and I just have a nice clean wallpaper. I like things neat and tidy as best as I can be. I do like hoarding things, I'm not gonna lie, but I try to hoard in a way that takes up small amounts of space, right? So like, I have a bunch of books, but I have them nicely stacked so that, you know, it takes up a small amount of this area. So I mean, something like it was hard for me, honestly, to do this, but I found I picked the number 50, seemed like a good solid number, and I found 50 articles of clothing, and I'm trying to sell them / just toss them of clothes. I got a little loophole about it, and I included like a tie as one article of clothing and a beanie as like one article of clothing, but like I think that still counts, right? I still relatively got over like 30-40 articles of clothing, including shirts and pants. So again, I feel like I caught myself mumbling there, so I'm trying to take a minute to just like reset. And yeah, because it's pandemic and because of my what am I saying? Because of my inherent laziness. I think that sounds right. Because of my inherent laziness, I haven't been going out. I've been inside playing games like any lazy gamer kid does. I mean, I'm happy about it, but you know, I understand, and I know I'd feel better if I just went out every day, or not every day, but more often than I do now. Hopefully I can work towards just going out to actually like going out and exercising, right? Because I am not the most fit person. I'm not super unhealthy, but I feel like I'm at the age where like this is the time to lose that weight before it gets a little too hard, right? I am 25 years old. It's a nice number, 5 squared, right? But perfect square. But I'm also a little sad about this number because I feel like I haven't accomplished as much as I should have at this age. But again, I have to take that from like negative thoughts to motivation to do those things that I starting now, not even now, like yesterday, and like working towards those things I might have missed out on, and do those as fast as I can and efficiently as I can. Because as long as I keep growing, I guess that's the main point, right? Time sucks. That it's not forever, but I mean, aging sucks, but there's still time, right? There's still time, so I gotta take advantage of that. I don't want to keep these pauses too long because then I have to do more editing. Yeah, so another reason for making these like 10 to 20 minutes is there's a couple of reasons, right? So one is if I have to listen to this again, I don't want to listen to myself at all, to be honest. But that's part of the point of these podcasts, right? To listen back to myself, to see how I talk. I don't want it to be too long, right? So 20 minutes already feels long, to be honest. But I think it's a decent number. It's a decent goal. I was looking at the 30 minutes, but I'm glad I said I think 20 is a much better choice than that. Maybe even less than 20, but for now let's do 20. I think I can hit it today. I'm at 17. I'll try not to look at the clock too much in the future, but again, I just want to get something out there that's like decent and like time efficient, so I can kind of gauge what I'm working with. Well, I was saying something before. Yeah, so many reasons why I want to 10 to 20 minutes. One is like I have to listen to it. 2 is if I'm going to get my friends or just anyone to listen to this podcast, I don't want it to be too long for them too, right? Unless they enjoy it, then maybe in the future I can make them longer. But if they don't enjoy it, at least it should be short. Another reason if I have to edit this, which I will, very minorly though, because my editing skills are pretty much non-existent. I need to make this as short as possible, and that includes my pauses. So I know I had 2 tiny pauses in this podcast. I probably will not edit them this time. If they're longer in the future, I will probably try to like cut those out. But the reason for that is like this podcast is really the true pilot demo. It's just me. I gotta get this out, right? As soon as I go home, I'm gonna edit this. And editing this for me is just kind of adding like a nice little animation that shows when I'm speaking at what volume on the YouTube, and that's about it really. I'm not doing any like sound mixing or anything like that, mainly because I don't know how, but even if I did, more effort I put into this, the harder it'll be to just do it regularly, right? And that's the main goal of this podcast, to do it regularly, and that's at a minimum a week, and that's at most whenever I have time, right? Today I went kind of completely unscripted. That's kind of what I kind of want a mix of scripted and unscripted. My scripted, I just want a list of maybe things that maybe happen throughout the week or the day. Like if I listen to a new album, or I try something new to eat, just like bullet points, right? And then I can expand on that later. Also like my thoughts. Sometimes I want to write them down, but sometimes I feel like they're more passionate when I talk about it as soon as they hit me. Like if I'm just like talking right now and I start thinking about like, I don't know, something like the way I feel about pizza. I mean, that's a terrible example, but like I didn't want to keep the pause too long. If I start feeling really emotional about pizza and like how it's been there for me all my childhood, it's better that I just talk it as soon as it comes to me, rather than write it down yesterday and then regurgitate my thoughts about pizza, right? So now I think that's good enough. I'm about to hit the 20-minute mark. So here I am gonna sign off. I'm signing off. I'm not sure about that outro. I'm gonna work on that. I don't think I like saying I'm signing off, but that's the first thing that came to my mind, and that's what I'm gonna work with. So thank you for listening. If you were listening, hope it wasn't too bad, and see you later. I'm signing off.